We do the invocation and the pledge. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and glory forever. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before you're seated this evening, I would ask you to remain standing and join me for a moment of silence for Mr. Charles Benning. Mr. Benning was a teacher in the Clewiston area schools, actually in this building. Mr. Sammerdyke remembers him well, and he actually ended his career, I believe you said at Westside?
Westside.
At Westside Elementary as a teacher. We're very grateful for his employment. Please join me in a moment of silence for Mr. Charles Benning. Thank you very much. You may be seated.
All right, Superintendent, looks like we have one recognition this evening.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much. I think Ms. Carter's going to come up and help me out with this one. It's always kind of a bittersweet time when our employees have the opportunity to retire and enjoy life and sleep in and stay warm and do all the things they want to do every single day. We're also very grateful for their employment and their time here, and today is no exception to that. I'll let Ms. Carter start if you want to come up, and then I'll come up and help you finish up.
Today, we'd like to recognize Ms. Lisa Funderburk. Ms. Funderburk started in 1993, and she started her career at Central, and then I believe she moved to Westside Middle School and the high school throughout her tenure here, and the last 6 years she's been with us at Central. She has been a great help in our VE classroom. She is a para. She would always say, hey, Ms. Carter, can we maybe do this to help the student or do that to help the student? She always wanted to come up with new ideas. So we want to say thank you for always advocating for our students. Even when they were some of our harder students, she was always there to lend a hand or lend an idea of a way to better help them. So again, thank you for all your years here in Clewiston. I think that they were all in Clewiston. Were you at Eastside?
No.
So everywhere but East Side, on the Clewiston side, and it's been a great 33 years, so thank you, Ms. Funderburk.
Awesome. I remember as a teacher at Clewiston High School. I remember, yes, all the, yes, go, but I remember Ms. Funderburk's can-do spirit and attitude, smile, and willingness to do whatever it took, to make sure the students had what they needed. So I always appreciated working with you. And what we have here this evening is a certificate that says in recognition to Ms. Lisa Funderburk, paraprofessional at Central Elementary, and sincere appreciation and gratitude for 33 years of dedicated service. Your wisdom and commitment to excellence have inspired many and will be remembered for years to come. We wish you good health, happiness, and continued success in your retirement. From the school board and a little memento for you. Thank you very much, and we appreciate you. We'll turn this one, we'll let you in. Hold the top of that. Yep. Awesome. Great. Yes, I do. Thank y'all for being here. Y'all welcome to stay as long as y'all want or escape whenever you want. It's totally up to you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Right on. Superintendent, looks like we have a couple of presentations this evening.
We do. And you guys, you're welcome to stay here if y'all want to go. Y'all are fine to go ahead. Totally up to you guys. Yeah.
Lisa, was nice seeing you.
Yeah, short, sweet.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, thank you for listening to me for a second, but the DOE requires us to report quarterly to you any observations that they've made or any times that they come to our school campus every quarter. We're supposed to communicate with you if they've been here and what they found. So this particular quarter, they've been on our campuses twice to do observations, and they found 0 findings on any of our campuses again. So we're still in really good standing with them. It's a short, sweet conversation to have there. We'll be coming back here at the second half of the school year, and I'll be doing random checks to all of our schools, and they'll probably come back and see us as well and catch a few more of our schools. And basically just doing compliance checks and making sure that we're doing everything we need to be doing. And still, luckily, to this point in time, we are 100%. I hope to keep it that way. That's it. Short, sweet.
Thank you.
I just need to edit that just a little bit. Mr. Clay said, luckily, we've been at 100%, and luck probably plays some into it, but it also is because of the hard work that he and his team and the guardians and everyone involved and the principals, the compliance piece that they do. It takes a lot of lift to meet the mandates that's been put on to us by school safety, but our team's doing an exceptional job here in Hendry, and it's one of those things that we will comply, we'll do everything we can, and we hope we never have to test how effective it really is, other than making sure we comply. So I'm grateful for Mr. Clay and his team and the work, so.
And his team works hard. When I go to school early in the morning, I see their guardians walking along the perimeter of the fence. Every day they do that. As part of their task before the school even starts. They're checking out security and stuff like that. And in the buildings, I think they're on top of stuff. I appreciate all those efforts. And I think you picked some outstanding people for your guardians.
God's been looking out for me, sir.
Thank you.
You want to move to the next one?
All right. We'll move on to the next presentation. Mr. Superintendent?
Yep, we had a couple of questions, so we thought we would ask Ms. Archer to come in and kind of give us an update on where we were with the traffic cameras, kind of the data, and what it looked like. So Ms. She is here, and she has some information to share with you. Ms. Archer? For those of you who don't know, Ms. Christy Archer is the lieutenant over community and services and for the Hendry County Sheriff's Office.
She's amazing.
Amazing.
I try. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So, yes, you guys were asking about how things were trending, how things have been going with the school cameras. I wish I could say that we were trending in a positive direction and our numbers were going down. However, that's not what is actually occurring. So, as you can see from the packets I gave you guys, when you look at February 2025, which is when we started live with the citations, and then up till December of 2025, initially we were seeing a decline, numbers were going down. For some reason in May, we had a large increase in the number of citations. Not sure why we were going down, all of a sudden we had that. June and July, you see nothing because cameras were not active during the summer. Then when we started the school year up again, we just kind of had a steady incline with our numbers. Some of that, I will say, in the beginning was delayed because of issues with signage. We did have another issue with the ordinance that had to be changed, so we had to wait on activating a couple of cameras until that could have been corrected. So some of those numbers initially in the beginning of the school year can be just from that, but I would say for sure once you're looking at October and up through December, everything was live and active. So it's really just not, for some reason, we're not really seeing a deterrent in the number of speeders that we would like to see. I'd like to see the number of citations going down, but unfortunately right now that's just not what we're seeing with the data. And then if you look on the other page, I have included the financial disbursements. And that also is from February to December. That includes the percentage that went to the state, the percentage that went to the school district, the percentage that goes to the crossing guards, and then what goes to the county. So you'll see a lot of zeros for the county with just a couple numbers in there. That's because before money can go to the county, the company that has and runs the cameras, they have to collect their fees first. So what you saw was when we first started the program, it took us until June to get their fees paid up to where we started bringing that money in to the county. But then, of course, we didn't have them live for summer school, so that sets it back a little bit. And then you're just trying to catch back up again is what we're doing now. We're trying to catch back up. And we are lowering the amount that's due to the company. It just takes time before that happens, and then it starts going back to the county. So I also included the totals there so you guys could see for that time frame the total amount of money that went to the state, the school district, the crossing guards, and then the county as well. And then at the bottom, I just went ahead and included for you guys information directly from Florida statute that outlines how that's dictated on what percentages go where from those citations in case you needed any clarification or had any confusion. Is there anything I can answer for you?
At one point, as a board, I believe y'all asked, and I'm sorry if it just has slipped my mind, or if I got the answer and forgot to report it back to the board, that what would the company be, what would the willingness of the company to be to put like the lights and illuminate the stop or the slow during, because there's really, even when they're well marked, you know, it'd be something else to kind of stand out. Do you remember what they said?
Yeah, I did speak to the company about that. They said it's just not something that they generally do, so it just doesn't seem like that's a direction they're looking to move into. Really what it will come down to is us either trying to get the money from the county, if we need the county to approve to fund it. We are looking at some options, some different options. The first option I looked at was really nice signs, like the new pole, a new sign that lights up all the way around the sign with the LED flashing lights. Obviously, those are going to be pretty expensive. I am trying to look at some cheaper options where it's just maybe a flashing beacon that can be added to maybe our existing signs to just bring that extra attention. So I am trying to find some ways where we can find a more cost-effective solution that maybe then it would be a little easier to obtain the funding for that.
Well, in my opinion, and board, you know, really y'all are in charge of the said fiduciary piece of this. The whole purpose of this is to increase safety in those school zones. And we're generated so far $77,000, right?
Yes.
And so I would be okay with helping buy, you know, those said signs, because at the end of the day, that's reinvesting it and making it safer. But, you know, I'd love to have feedback and talk to Mr. Clay and get the feedback from everyone. But if we can continue driving the safety piece of that, I think that would be a good use of the money.
Yes.
I wholeheartedly agree, Superintendent. I think when we look at that uptick that happened in May, it's because kids had gotten out and there was confusion as to whether the school zones were still in effect, like during summer school. I know that there was a lot of questions about that, so.
Yeah, there was no enforcement on June or July, so they were shut
Yes.
down. As soon as the regular school year ended, the cameras were shut down.
I know I've heard people with confusion, especially around the elementary schools right there, west side, where the school zones actually start and stop, and signage coming in and out. I've had people telling me that the signs they're not right, and I've asked Mr. Clay about it, and he's like, no, everything is correct, and so if there is a way that we can do some clarification with that, with signage that we provide,
Uniform signage.
you know,
And
that's.
on all 11 zones.
That-
I'll go throw my husband under the bus, he got it.
He was in a hurry to get to see his wife.
No, he was going to the library.
Oh, hurry to the library.
Yeah, being the president of the board, he had to be at the library. But he, you know, he knows he was wrong. It was like 4 minutes before the time was up on a Friday afternoon. But he's like, I mean, there's no flashing light, I couldn't read the sign, there's nothing on the roadway. So could city or county put in like speed crosswalk, something on the road? Because and you get it, you're driving, you're not necessarily but if you see something on the road, on the asphalt, it might,
Or a flashing light or
Or a
something.
flashing light.
Yeah.
Some of them do require it. I know that, for example, Bell High School, Bell Middle School, they are painted on the road, so is Bell Elementary. Some of them, if it's not required, some entities may not want to put any money, they don't have to put into anything beyond, what is minimally
I mean, if the
required.
board is willing to pay for these added measures, and I don't think striping a road is that cost intensive. And for the lighting, I know the ones at Upper Grove, it was the electrical issue, the cost. Well, they do solar.
That's the ones I'm looking at right now, is the solar options.
Yeah.
They could be a little pricey as well, even for just a flashing beacon, but I have reached out to multiple companies and I'm getting quotes in from them.
He said, was it Charlotte County, I believe? He sent some information, so maybe if I can see if he knows the contact with Charlotte County, if he would like to talk to them for their school zones.
Sure, absolutely.
He's willing to help because he was not happy with $100. Like, thanks.
Well, there it is, I see it.
So the $100 will help pay for a light or a sign, but I personally, you guys.
I would love to see that striping, particularly over there by the elementary school, because I never exactly know where it starts or where it, I'm just winging it. And I think a really good example of how effective just a simple flashing light is, based on the times when the schools are in effect, is when you're going past Glade Central High School, and they have, they tell you to slow down, but it's like 20 miles an hour when this light is flashing. And
That would
it's
make
just,
it so much more clear.
And LaBelle Elementary does have that, they have the flashing light. Sometimes it's very effective in the morning, sometimes not so much for those that are heading eastbound, because the way the sun is coming up, it usually get a lot of complaints.
But then you have,
see it, but
you've got the
it
sign to
does
say
happen.
between X time and X time and X time and X time.
Mhm.
Eliminate that and just have a sign that states when the light is flashing, it's 20
Mile
miles
an
an
hour.
hour.
because I'm looking at the time and I'm looking at and I'm even more distracted, trying
Yeah,
to
and
be
then
distracted.
he's gonna run over a child and it's just
Yes.
gonna be terrible,
I
so.
think what I'm hearing from the board, the direction is work with Ms. Archer and Mr. Clay and team.
Yes.
And let's improve signage, let's improve markings, to basically drive more safety and see if that doesn't help and the numbers start to come down.
Yeah,
I'll be more than
definitely.
happy to gather the quotes that I received and get with Clay, and we can discuss that.
Get some pricing for us.
Thank you for the presentation and the very nice document you put together. That's very helpful.
I do have
Mr.
another
Clay is over
question.
there just beaming, he's so excited for
So
one more
he-
project.
I noticed not long ago, there were over there by Clewiston High School, putting in some cameras on the other side. So do we now have cameras on all sides that need them around our schools, or do we still have some that need cameras?
So Clewiston High School, those were actually there before. What it was is they had to move the poles over just a little bit. So they
Okay.
took down the cameras and the poles that were there, had to move them over and then re-put them back up.
Okay.
So that's what they did, I believe, on Francisco. I don't know if they did it on Sonora, but for sure they did on Francisco.
Yes, for sure. I saw that. So, I mean, but all of our schools now have
Yes.
cameras for sure, 100% in every area that they need to have them, where speeders are going to be.
Yes,
Okay.
Are we using the middle school ones?
those we cannot, due
Yes,
to
those-
the ordinance
those
not
ones
being
not.
passed by the city of Clewiston. So we don't have the ones issuing paid citations for Clewiston Middle School, but we can't, without the ordinance, we just can't go around that, so.
Because of the city,
Yes,
they won't allow it.
that's correct.
The city won't do
They don't like kid safety?
We're gonna have to go to a city commission meeting, then, aren't we?
Completely up to you guys.
It was so when I heard about that, I went back and watched that video, and it was a unanimous vote from them to buy that, 5-0.
To not
Or
allow
if they
it.
want to do all that landscaping and weird things now.
I don't know, that wasn't really discussed.
Now.
It was, I think it was in response to overwhelming negative feedback from the community. And they were just answering to, I guess,
I haven't heard one person likes the palm trees that they put up, you can't see around when you go to get on 27, they did that.
but that, I think that was their jurisdiction, but it was a 5-0.
Wow.
Well, I think that it's incumbent upon us to educate and keep kids safe, and apparently they don't see eye to eye with that, so,
Yeah.
well, I guess we don't have that authority over them, but nonetheless, we'll continue to do the best we can.
Put it in place we have, so.
Got it.
This wasn't the first company that presented to us, is it?
No.
Remember way back when we had another company that came in, and they did a real nice presentation, and they had flashing lights, and they were gonna do this, and they were gonna do that. And then we got this other company instead, But some of this stuff just hasn't transpired. But I don't know why we didn't stay with that other company, but they had quite the presentation, and that's what they were gonna do, is put up flashing lights whenever the speed limits were and so forth. Do you know what happened? Maybe the bid was better with this company, and there's other monetary reasons why we go with different companies. That's,
It didn't work out contractually before it ever got to us. It
Yeah.
has anything to do with us. But you're right, they had lots of promises in what they were gonna mark and
it
change.
just looked good, that's all.
Right.
Well, thank you.
How long is our contract with this company? Do you remember?
As long as we decide to keep it.
Do we pay a fee?
They get a piece of
They
the,
get a piece
of the,
If I wanted to, if we wanted to do it tomorrow, do you put it, or is it like a monthly or?
I don't know what the,
We
I don't know what the
provide proper
company's contract
notification,
is.
and we can end it at any time.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah,
That's up to the sheriff's department, that has nothing, we can't.
that's correct, yes, because we are the ones that have the agreement with it.
Right. That's what I thought. Oh, that's what the sheriff told me, that that's up to the sheriff's department on that. Okay, thank you for your time, appreciate it.
Hey, good job, appreciate it.
All right. We'll move on to citizen comment. Mr. Superintendent, do we have any citizen comment requests at this time?
I have none at this time.
All right, having no citizen comment requests, we will move on to the consent agenda. Does anybody have anything they would like to pull from the consent agenda and move to an action item?
I have a question, maybe 2 questions, a comment, and 1 thing I want to pull. What I would like to pull is item F.
F, approval of the research and data.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll pull that. Item F. Item D.
And then let me knock out my comment on internal audits. So, it wasn't perfect, but it was far, far, far improved. I know there have been several consecutive years where we would get prior year findings and that hadn't been cleared. And so, I mean, talking about multiple pages of not clear. And so I was delighted to see that we're down to 4 and that half of those have been cleared. So kudos to Mr. Adams. I know I did give you a hard time, but and I see your potential. And I think you've done a great job with overseeing this and with the individual schools, and I'm very pleased. Ticket inventory always seems to be one that we struggle with. I wanted to know if we were considering going to GoFans, because I think that, or Huddle or whatever they're using, that electronic ticketing, so that it ensures that the money's right and it aligns with the tickets.
Yeah, funny you should ask. As early as about 3 hours ago, they're interviewing companies. There's multiple platforms out there that do that, and so the leadership and the principals of the schools are looking at the different options and what it takes to implement it. And of course, all of them have fees, and so they're kind of, if you will, interviewing to see which one's going to be the best fit. And then, yes, we do intend to move in that direction. And so not only the ticket sales is one thing, but it could also be you have a child in the 4th grade, they need a T-shirt, so there's ways to wrap everything in there. So we're going to go as cashless as possible to eliminate that.
All right, well, that should clear up a lot on.
Well, yeah, yes, it should.
In theory,
But I use the example of my mother. She's 82 years old, and she's going to show up to watch her grandson play baseball, and we only take this app, and it's just the only way you can get in the gate, and so we're going to have to, no matter what we do, we're going to have the ability, to pivot and work both directions. So it'll never go away, I don't believe.
So it's gonna be an app, not even accepting a debit card out of the gate?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't like that, because I'm that guy, and I'm not.
No, I'm sorry, they do take cards. It does, yeah, they do have a thing, they do have a scanner where, yeah, you can pull up and scan. The one they talked to today does have the ability to swipe the card and stuff like that, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I'm not an app
Right,
guy.
I'm not an app guy. My mom's certainly not gonna have any ability as to where a lot of the folks, and so we've just gotta understand that going into it, and pivot with that and still support the fact that we want people to come. We don't wanna be a deterrent for reasons, for, the community and parents and grandparents not to come, you know, be a part of their child's life.
Precisely. Yeah, if they use a debit card, most people are willing to do that.
Yep. Right.
There are some of those people.
Right.
I just think it'll be a great tool to help reconcile the money in the ticket inventory, because that always just seems to be one that flags. And I can see how challenging that would be to do that with cash and.
It's a scary nightmare, you're right.
So while we're on ticket sales and sporting events, I've noticed that the concessions on the Clewiston side, football season, they kind of struggle with concessions there, getting people that want to do it, is there, we thought about outsourcing that as well, letting a vendor come in and say, hey, we get so much of the proceeds or something like that, to take that burden off of the cheerleaders or any of the other clubs, because the Tiger Boosters, they just don't have the personnel to do it like they used to do, and they're already overwhelmed with a lot of other things. So just thinking if we could outsource that, maybe look at that and see.
I can ask the leadership of those to see what their options are and how much they struggle with.
Yeah, because I know my daughter helped coach the cheerleaders, and it was a struggle, some of that stuff. Her husband had to go work quite a bit, at one point to do that stuff, so.
And you might ask at LaBelle High School too.
Sure.
Yeah,
Because for years, it was the same people, you'd go in there and you'd always get talking to the same person. And as time has passed, they've left or they've retired and stuff like that. So there's a changeover there. It's something to consider. I just think that's certainly something to come back with.
I know they used it in Clewiston as a fundraising opportunity, but I also think it's like hard for those smaller clubs that were signing up for one, just even come up with the seed money for the inventory and then get stuck with inventory afterwards.
Right.
And then so you're not actually like making that profit, and just, so I think it's a good idea, Mr. Basquin, to look into that.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Sanchez can certainly hold that conversation with those athletic directors and
Yeah.
talk to them.
Thanks for looking at it.
Yep.
Sure. Thank you, Board.
Okay, so I have the question on item N, and that was the resolution determining revenues and millages. I know that, I thought we already passed this.
We did. There were some corrections those were just some corrections and stuff that got left there. If Mr. Adams wants to elaborate on that, this basically was a corrected version that we had to send to the state.
Okay.
The totals listed on the original version had 100% collection calculated, and it was returned back to me saying that I should have only calculated a 96% collection. So the document that you have in front of you today is at 96%.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you. And then I have just a few questions about the fee structures for item G, which are the fee structures and the proposed changes. On the ESC privately placed, it says that the students are eligible for exceptional student education services and accessing the Florida Empowerment scholarships, which attend private schools will be required to pay for the following services. Are those services available for students who receive the Unique Ability Scholarships?
I will divert to Dr. Staley.
Okay, because those are the ones who are already designated with the exceptional education needs.
Well, and some of the privately placed are as well.
Yes.
And so they do provide some funding, the state, but we run out every single time. So it above and beyond, yes.
I mean, because like I know that like with the Unique Abilities, you can go to, pick a provider, pay for it. If they direct bill, then they will bill, or you can pay out of pocket and get reimbursed. But I just wanted to make sure like the PEP or the Unique Abilities were still able to utilize that. Okay, that was perfect. And my final question on that is on the Exhibit A for secondary schools. I was a little confused. Elementary schools broke down, there was different charges for say ELA class versus a science class. On the secondary, it has like, I'm just seeking to understand. I don't think I get it. It's probably right, but I just don't think I'm absorbing it correctly. Like total periods at school, 6. Are there different, like differentiation for ELAs versus science classes versus electives? So your ELA and your PE class could be the same? Okay, all right. And I just want to verify if the district is going to use the model, the billing model, where you guys can bill Step Up for Students directly, and the parents go in the portal and approve it?
We are currently working in that direction.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that's it, thank you.
I have a question on that, as long as we're on G.
All right.
So, what about sports? If a child's going to one of the schools and they want to do football, so we still pay the coaches out of general fund money and so forth. Are we going to charge those students from other schools to participate in our sports? Because obviously there's a cost. We're paying for equipment, we're paying for the coaches, we're paying for whatever else, what other needs they have, which is frequent.
So about a year and a half ago, we as superintendents were going down the path of this, and I'm all about it. I think they should pay a part of that. And we were working on the fee structure for that. And then Governor DeSantis basically put a directive out that said they will not pay. You better not charge for athletics. You know, that's something that, you know, as a community member, you know, that they're able to do that. We can charge for some fees, and we may do some of that, such as if you're at a homeschool or private school and you want to play sports, the packet that they have to do is unreal for all the permissions and the registrations and everything that has to happen. But if you're already in school, it's a simple signature and you're gone.
Right.
So we have to have extra personnel to generate the packet, to get the packet to the parent, get the packet back, register that student then with this athletic association, totally separate. And so we may do a fee just to participate in said sports, but to charge them for being on a baseball team or football team today is not something that I'm willing to get crossways with the governor. If y'all as a board are ready to do so.
Good decision.
Then that's,
So like an administrative fee then?
exactly, that's right, right.
And something to keep in mind, particularly on the east side of the county, is that there is a stronger school choice presence over here, and you don't want to force, you want to make it where those kids can come join your team so you can have a good solid team, as opposed to if you make it cost prohibitive, they'll have their own team, and then you can have, you know, you'll struggle to fill your rosters too. I know there's like just, there's a few sports I think that are a mix of different
Makes sense.
schools, so.
What about ESC services, speech, physical therapy? That still comes from us. I didn't see how that was billed.
Yeah, I think, and Dr. Stanley can address that, but none of that will be affected. I mean, we'll still do that, and I think some of those are covered as is up to a certain point. But then if it went beyond that, I think that then we did put the ability to charge if the said fees ran out before the services ran out.
And the amount of people that we have doing it also plays a part. So if we have 4 speech pathologists and we've got 100 kids on our own, our kids are going to take precedent.
So they just delved into. So one of the school board meetings, our superintendent was talking about how much some of our special ed kids cost us. And so I looked at that, and let's say a kid with significant needs gets into the 9th grade. So he's self-contained most of the time. He may wander out a bit, but pretty much those are the services he needs. So he's in there for 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. So he's been there for 4 years. Now, according to law now, we can serve them until they're 22. Is that not correct? Mm-hmm. So now we've got 3 or 4 additional years. So we had the 4 years, 9 through 12. Now we've gone 3 or 4 years. So that same student can be in that classroom for 7 to 8 years. at a significant cost to the district. So then we have that teacher in that class. Well, that same teacher has that student for 7 or 8 years. It's got to be taxing at that point to work with those students. So, so that is concerning, and I understand it costs the district, it costs us personnel, it's all very hard. Then my question becomes, so, other options we have. We could refer them to voc rehab. We've done that a zillion times, not much of a response from voc rehab, is my understanding. I got my master's in voc rehab, so I know what it was like. And it's the idea of rehab was rehabilitation. These students that are in that room are not really rehabable. They're not going to change to become general members of society, productive members of society. It's not their destiny, I'm afraid. So what do? We could have them graduate or walk with their class after 12 years or 13 years. And that would reduce the amount of responsibility from the state and from the teacher. But how does it serve those students until they're 22? How do we serve students that we are obligated to be with until age 22? We could have them walk, and that's very nice, but it really doesn't provide that service. Where do we go with that? How do we serve those students?
I think it's by law.
Yeah.
We don't have the ability to tell them we can't show the parent or send the student
What
to.
the direction tends to be at the IEP meetings, and correct me if I'm wrong, is after 4 or 5 years, you have the IEP meeting, the teachers there, the staffing specialist is there, the school counselor is there, and anybody else that wants to. But there tends to be a trend toward encouraging some of those children to walk.
It depends on the student always. So there isn't a trend to do that unless the student wants that. And we do all kinds of occupational skills beyond their 12th grade year if they need to. So that is all an individual IEP decision on all of it. And if you want to have a private conversation with either Lynette or I or both, I'm more than willing to have that. But it's all on an individual basis.
Well, no doubt, that's the IEP, it's on an individual basis, I'm not arguing that. The point is, I'm not sure that that's always the case. That it's based on an individual basis, but I think times the tone at some of those meetings may be encouraging that the child move on without staying till age 22.
If there are concerns, we would love to hear them.
Thank you. That'll do it.
Thank you.
All right, very good. That's all, Mr. Superintendent. Do we have a recommendation on the consent agenda, sir?
It was item F, that was all correct.
That was item F.
So I recommend you approve the consent agenda as presented minus item F.
Second. Motion by Ms. Nelson, seconded by Reverend Brown. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We will move on to action items. Action item 5A. Looks like we have a hearing. We need to open this hearing.
Yes, sir.
All right. So at this time, we will open the hearing for the approval to adopt a new policy in artificial intelligence tools and applications use policy. This hearing is open. So at this time, do we have anybody that would like to comment? We have to have the comment session, correct?
Correct.
Hearing no citizen comment, we will close this hearing. This hearing is closed. Mr. Superintendent, do we have your recommendations, sir, on action item 5A?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, thank you. And just for the context, for the board's behalf, The world of artificial intelligence education is rapidly growing at an incredible rate. The things that we're able to do today some of them weren't available this time last year. There's no telling what it's going to be in the years to come. And so we were working along with our partners at Neola and other districts to make sure that we're staying in front of that. Our ultimate goal is to service kids with education and help teachers do that in a very streamlined fashion. We had very little to no policy surrounding some of the use of the tools, how they were used, and in the manner in which students were using them, teachers were using them. And so this is us trying to get policy in place to be safe, to protect students and teachers as we go along. I suspect we will have others, probably in a pretty short period of time, because as it continues to evolve and things continue to change, we'll have to make sure that we change with that. So that's the whole context of the purpose of this. Therefore, I recommend your approval of action item 5A, the approval and adoption of the artificial intelligence policy.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Houston, seconded by Mr. Sammerdyke. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Move on to action item 5B, permission to advertise a revised policy. Mr. Superintendent, we have your recommendations.
Yes, sir. You have the policy in front of you. Basically, is changing the time for protest. Unless you have any questions, I recommend your approval of action item 5B as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Sammerdyke, seconded by Ms. Houston. Do we have any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item 5C, Mr. Superintendent, permission to advertise a revised policy for the Independent Sales Surtax Oversight Committee.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman and Board, as you well know, the sales tax, we have an oversight committee that watches the investment of those funds to ensure that we are following statutory investments that the voters agreed to for that. The only thing we're changing here is right now, the policy says that we have 5 folks on the board and 2 alternates. We're basically changing 2 alternates to 5 alternates, only because we struggle to get folks there. People are busy, people have, everything, family businesses and things going on. And so we're basically just gonna add the number of folks that we can have to pull from to ensure that we have a quorum on the quarterly or biannual basis that we have the meetings.
Biannual.
So that we can ensure that we have a meeting and we're able to do that. So simply going from 2 alternates to 5 alternates to ensure quorums and meetings.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. Sammerdyke, seconded by Reverend Brown. Do we have any discussion?
Just a comment. I see that, I've sat in on a couple of those before, and I've heard frustrations about, being able to get a quorum. And the policy says has an attendance policy, so if you're not showing up for these meetings, they can be removed. Have we considered doing that for people who are not consistently showing up?
I believe Ms. Tanner's probably going to speak to you in just a few minutes about that board overall and the amount of time that we have. It's really time to replace the whole board. But yes, we probably need to start looking at if they can't come or they're not consistently coming to start moving. But we're going to put basically the whole board. It's time for that to either be reappointed or find 5 new folks. I think that's what you're talking about.
It is, but if
Get to
you
it.
want to discuss it now before the vote, I'd be happy to do that, just to give you context. So this is a 2-year term, essentially, whenever you serve on the committee. And after the 2-year term, then you either can reapply and extend your duration as a committee member if you are again appointed by a board member, or at the conclusion of the 2 years, someone else takes your place. As the policy exists now without the revision, after applications are open and we get a bunch of applicants, then each board member will appoint 1 committee member, and then there are 2 alternates that are appointed by the superintendent. With the policy revision, the only thing that changes is that instead of 2 alternates, the superintendent would appoint 5 alternates. I think that the intention is for those alternates to have voting power only if someone does not come to the meeting and a quorum is not established at whatever time it is. So, if you have any questions on that, but the applications are going to be open. I think currently they're open now.
I wanted you to discuss this with the board, so I
Okay.
open them tomorrow.
So after tonight, and you all decision, then applications would open tomorrow, and then, people could apply. In a perfect world, we would get 50 applicants, and we would have a great pool to choose from to appoint committee members. But in the event that we don't have enough applicants, then we'll need to make appointments, on our own. So in addition to that, something to consider is there needs to be a school member liaison as a part of the committee. I think currently it's Mr. Samerdine.
Yes.
So at the time of appointments, you'll need to appoint either Mr. Samerdine again or another member of the board to serve in that capacity.
Just a thought that was going to circle back to what I previously said about, I would like to see if we've had, these last 2 years and people haven't met that attendance requirement, I would like that be prohibitive from them for re-applying for that position. Because they've shown us that they're not showing up, they're creating a hardship by not attending with the quorums, and I just think, some people, get on committees, be on a committee, and we need workers here, and we need people to show up, so make that prohibitive to folks who haven't met that requirement in the past 2 years, haven't met their obligations.
How many notices are given to those meetings? I've gone to every meeting but one, but I don't find many reminders of that meeting. And I think that is part of the problem is people go, my geez, that meeting, we set that meeting in November, the meeting's in March, and I forgot.
So we do, it's an advertised meeting.
Yeah.
So we advertise, but I know that's not a good way to, notify.
Who's reading that?
Right, but we do send out emails, and Alexis, I believe, even called on this last go around. They made phone calls.
I've only had this last one, but yeah, we did send out, I think it was like 2 emails and then made phone calls, but that was just for this last.
Well, which was good, yeah.
She probably knew you were coming, so she didn't call you, right?
Yeah.
The weeks, and so it starts out early, it starts a month or so out, and then right up till we'll call a week before, and then
Okay. Well, that's why he does have a good point. You set a meeting 6 months out, and
Right.
and,
No.
the reality, most
Yeah.
people remembering that.
No, we've always done a good job, I think, of sending emails.
It's gotten a lot better.
As long as we give them a 2 or 3 month notice, a couple of warning shots ahead of time, I think that's great. And then I wouldn't have a problem with excuses presenting.
Because the policy as it is states that I think it was like 2 consecutive meetings.
Yeah, so I was going to say, to your point, the policy, I don't think that there's an additional revision that's needed to your point. It's already built into the current policy that if a committee member misses 2 consecutive meetings, then they're subject to removal. And that can be by recommendation of the superintendent or by the board appointed liaison, the board member. So as the policy reads, missing 2 consecutive meetings is not an automatic removal. You're just subject to the revocation of your seat on the committee, which gives you the avenue to get them out of there if, that's happening.
And most all of them we call, and they'll say, look, I'm sorry, I'm out of town on business, I can't be there. We've had an occasion where we were here and somebody went to the LaBelle office to the meeting,
That's right.
so stuff like that happens, so you certainly want to be flexible. But yeah, if you're not able to hold a meeting twice in a row because not enough people come, then that gets to be an issue.
Yeah.
We need action on this.
Yes, sir.
So moved.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Wright, second by Reverend Brown. Do we have any other discussion? Nope. Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, Mr. Superintendent, we now have action item 5D, which is the old F from the consent agenda, sir.
Yes, sir. So to give you the context around this, I typically try to be very guarded with regard. We get a lot of requests for research projects, people to use our data to have access to our folks, and typically the answer is no, just because we don't have time, we don't have extra people to be handling this for these folks. This one did catch my attention because number one, it's a former graduate of LaBelle High School, who's now I think it's Georgia Southern. I think is where the students at Georgia Southern. She's of Hispanic descent, and she's doing her PhD, and she's trying to gather data for mental health in some very specific areas. And she asked, could she do basically a questionnaire to gather some data points from her former alma mater. And so if it hadn't been for that, I wouldn't even entertained it. And then she did she punched me in the right spot when she said, because I'd love to be back there using my PhD in mental health in Hendry County. I said, okay, we can help you. And so anyway, that was the context behind it. So it's there are some written agreements the parents has to sign. The context basically is questions dealing with mental health, and the students would take it, roughly at 8, I believe she said 8 to a 15-minute type of survey, and then submit the stuff back to her. It's anonymous. It's not tied to a student name, student number, or anything like that.
Who presents it to the student?
She's going to do all that. The school may have some. They would have to interface some where they, pass it out to the students, a select group of students, the Hispanic females, or whatever that group of population she was targeting. And so the school would have to help in making sure that they got the data in front of them, and then collect and submit the data back. And that would be the bulk of that would be the work that the school would be responsible for.
Okay, as I read through the information that was provided to us, a few things popped up, little areas of concern. Are our high schools considered, are they designated as Title I now? Okay, well, it says who can participate must attend a Title I high school. So if we're not designated as Title I as a high school, I don't even know if this applies.
I can ask her if that may be a disqualifying factor right off the bat. We can ask her.
Okay, so that just reached out to me. I was looking at the context of the questions that would be asked with the parents, because clearly, you have to have consent from parents for the student to participate. Would the parents get to see the kind of questions that are being asked before they give consent?
I don't think so.
Okay.
My understanding was not.
When I looked at an example of that, they were talking about how asking students, participants to respond on like scenarios. And one was a scenario with anxiety and panic attacks, about who they would respond to. One was about depression. One was about substance abuse. And I know this is a school out of Georgia, but this is Florida. And Florida's going to be staunch on parental rights acts, parental rights there. And I think this would be much like Claypool, which would have to be subject to that. Because as a parent, if you're asking my kid about depression and substance abuse and stuff like that, like if I want to know it, I want to know it. And then I was like looking at some of these. I'm a little concerned when I was looking at some of these questions. And I always try to like and I know that not everybody feels the same way I do as a parent, but it's like a baseline of how I would feel if my kid was being asked that, and not being like, if I wanted to know the answer, not being told the answer. And about, interactions with their fathers, and if there's a problem there, I just think parents have to have the opportunity to know, as long as they're not like reporting that parent is abusive or something that require reporting to law. But I do think that parents should know that. And then I was like looking at just the list of questions. It was like, how close do you feel to your father? I have been to the moon. What? I mean, so I think that it would require maybe a look over of this, a closer look, and to see how we can ensure that the kids, the participants know, as well as the person wanting to ask these questions to know that it should comply with the parental rights statutes. And then another thing that caught my eye is under the part that says your choice. You do not have to take the survey. You can stop the survey at any time without consequences. You can still enter the gift card raffle even if you do not finish. And so I've got questions there. If you automatically get a gift card, and what you get a gift card to, because it said like a $5 compensation for participation, but then this is saying a gift card raffle. And I don't think we're allowed to do raffles on campus per Florida statute. I got questions on this one. And I'm sorry, I didn't look at it until today. I was vacationing this weekend, so I didn't look at it till this morning, so I didn't, my bad. But I have a lot of questions that I think, maybe send it back and get some clarification on that, and just an assurance in writing that this would comply with the parental rights.
If I could pile on to that. So I'm clicking the survey link, and I do want to make sure that we conform with the statutes on parental rights, and the parent has to consent for, data research on the children. And while you have to click, I consent, begin the study, it doesn't, ask for parent's name or signature, so my concern would be that the child just wants to get the gift card and they click the button, and then there's no assurance that the parent actually reviewed it and consented to it, which could present an issue. So if we're going back and asking questions about this, perhaps we get some clarification. But my understanding reading through this is that this would be a survey done perhaps on school property, but not during school hours.
How will parental consent be ensured? Is that your question?
Yes.
And I'll clarify the Title I component of that. And basically, your crux of your other concern, Mr. Houston, is is it compliant with the parental rights statute?
Yes.
Yes. So we'll go and bring it back to us at the next meeting then?
That will make it. If you have further,
You need to check on the Title I as well, so that may just kick the whole thing out.
if it has to be a Title I school, we are Title I eligible, but not Title I designated. So,
I mean, that may kick the whole program out right
right.
there.
Okay. We can do that. And if you have if anything else comes to mind, please text me or email me by tomorrow by midday so we can get all these two back to her and back to us.
I just think, even before a parent can give consent to participate, it would be prudent for them to know exactly what they're consenting to. And this is for a PhD, this isn't anybody with like a licensed certification, it's not like a licensed mental health therapist or somebody who's like governed by a board. This is just kind of an individual research project, not originating from the state of Florida, so just some concerns there.
Full
There's been
item?
no motion on it.
No, ma'am, there's not been any motion on it. So we'll pull item D, and Mr. Superintendent can bring it back to us at a later date.
Can do.
All right, well, we're moving on to some old business. In fact, maybe we have some new LHS updates.
Mr. Houston has some exciting news.
As of Friday, January 16th at 4:28 p.m., we received our South Florida water management permit for our on-site permit. So that gives us the okay to get moving and get boots on the ground.
Fantastic.
When will that happen, Mr.
We
Houston?
are going to get mobilization on Monday the 26th. We'll have people on the ground doing some surveys. Fencing will show up probably Tuesday, Wednesday morning. So we are mashing the gas. We are having a meeting tomorrow at 1 o'clock with OAK. So we'll get some more details, but I rang that bell this morning. I rang that bell Friday afternoon at about 4:32.
I saw a text message about that.
I didn't see that. I got a phone call and I just
I
started.
couldn't contain myself anymore.
That's
That's
great.
in real time.
Thank you, Mr. Busey. Hey, our groundbreaking is still scheduled for March 10th then?
Well,
We
So-
are, go ahead, Mr.
as of today, the short answer is yes. The long answer is our two lawmakers are still in session and want to be there. And so we may have to adjust it. However, if you remember last year, the session went, how many days? 60 days past the designated time. So I basically said, here's when we would like to have it. Let me know if you can do that, or give me a day you can do it, and we will move to a day you can do it. I've not heard back that specific date yet. So as of today, yes, it's still March 10th, but we may have to be
Well,
a little
they
flexible.
only have work days as Monday through Thursday, so maybe we can schedule it for a Friday.
I'm happy to do a Friday thing.
And I would just
Yes.
like to snitch on Mr. Busen and just say thank you for the group text to let us know, because that's where I found out, because somebody withholds information.
Now, out of all honesty, that all happened in real time, so he probably was burning up OAK's phone and some other people by the time you got the text, and so.
No, he wasn't. I asked him, I was like, any exciting news today?
He said, nope.
Because I
I
already
believe you
know.
went to the store and came back. You would have heard me hooting hard when I was. I'm sorry. I couldn't control my,
Happy dance.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, correct.
So then the big question is when is my machine gonna be there for me to go play?
Oh, man, that's what I said.
That's
That's my question.
I cannot answer that, and I think we are putting something on that school boards are not allowed on the machines.
They don't need it.
It's okay, we'll call it something different. I'll resign for a minute, something
Yeah.
temporary, and something, we'll call it something, don't worry.
Yeah.
We're gonna have,
It's happening.
Curtis Clay's gonna be very proud of the security that's gonna be on it.
He's gonna put his mother back into the shovel.
Yeah, there you go. They're just right
There's the
there.
machine,
Yeah.
right?
And we put your name on it.
Man, all right. Well, that's all right, I have a skid loader, I'll bring mine on, how about it?
Bring your own heavy equipment and you can
Bring
play.
my own equipment by you, I'll show
We
you.
will be happy for you to use it. We'll help you get it.
All right, well, fantastic. Is there any other great news besides that you have for us?
Just moving right along with LHS, we're vetting the materials right now, everything that we signed up for. We had meetings throughout the last year and a half of what we wanted, and now we're fine tuning those meetings. We're going through the electrical, we're going through the plumbing, we're going through the HVAC, fire alarms, and we're walking through the plans and vetting them the best we possibly can, because this time's running out to change anything. So we're working on vetting everything right now. We had meetings, we had 2 or 3 last week, I think we have 1 or 2 planned this week.
We got the Swindle Wing named
Oh, yeah.
already?
Oh, yeah.
We do not know if we have a swim pool.
It's probably their
Not a basketball
The
game.
restrooms, I'm sure. I also want to point out that, I believe it was Mr. Simmerdike who pointed out, that, I don't remember what the context was, but you wanted to make sure that Owens and Kimball, that we got a monthly update
Yes.
at board meetings, and they were aware, we discussed it today and what that needed to look like, but up until now, there's been no update other
No
than the
need.
paper, so they said, okay.
Now we have Mr. Busey still.
Yep, and so, at the appropriate time, once, the earth starts turning and construction stages are happening, they will be at, I don't know if it'll be every single month, because, it may take us a month to do all the groundwork, and you know what I mean? So as milestones happen, we will get, updates from them. They will show you how to, yes, the short answer is yes, so they will be giving presentations on the construction.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
So our architect, has he had a fire lit under him to continue to move him along? I know he was kind of dragging his feet on us there for a little while. Is he a little pep in step?
Well, luckily, everything got completed and turned in, so the short answer is we hope so.
Okay. All right, very good. Yeah, because I mean, we kind of got accountability piece we missed, so we've got to make sure that we try to keep him lit up as much as we can.
Yep.
So,
Good question, thank you.
okay. Anybody else have anything on the LHS update that they want to know?
Good news.
We will move forward, Madam Attorney.
I do
We
have-
have a few updates from
Yes, and one of those is, I guess I'll take the second, first in turn is the Independent Sales Surtax Oversight Committee, which we have already discussed and you all approved the policy revision. So now we'll move forward with opening the applications tomorrow morning, and let's cross our fingers that we have many qualified applicants, so that when we come back to you, you can appoint those members to the committee.
how are we advertising that?
We have, Facebook, our district webpage, and I think that was it. Because if we did, legal ads through advertisement, we wouldn't be sending that out until a week from tomorrow. So it's just our Facebook and our district website.
Another radio station. We reach out to them.
Sure, they always ask us to buy spots, so we got a spot.
Well, I mean,
They're always looking for somebody to come on there and talk about relevant things too, so go ahead, Mr. Baswin. Get at it.
they
Get an
always,
interview.
they do update,
He didn't like that.
what we got on meeting notes and stuff on there, so,
Like Kevin.
if we could maybe ask them throw something out there.
Well, and the local chambers as well, the
Yeah.
local and the Houston chambers, they send out newsletters. And they have their own Facebook page as well.
Some people don't have social media.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's up to you guys, because if we open the application tomorrow, it's open for 2 weeks, which means that they close February 4th, and then you guys would have until February 17th. If only because January 25th, the 2-year term for the members now, it's up. So I was hoping that our next meeting, you would be able to appoint your members.
Okay.
I mean, but
Word of mouth.
with whatever you guys
Yeah,
want me
word
to do.
of mouth, that's usually the best.
Yeah, it really is.
And if there's any committee member that wants to reapply, then they're welcome to do so, although I think some of them may remove themselves after the extension of the 2-year, but you never know. So hopefully that application process will go smoothly, and then the next board meeting will be appointments. And then the other update I have is just with regard to the cable contract. At the last board meeting, there was discussion about revising that agreement to include specific language in conformity with the statutes related to parental rights. I made those revisions, and Claypool agreed to them and accepted everything, so we're good to go on that, and we have a program in place. And, you know, this is a pilot program. Ms. White's not here tonight, but the intention of this partnership with Claypool is to see how things are with them, and we can revisit whether or not we want to continue the relationship and have a permanent agreement at the conclusion of the pilot period. And that's all that I have.
Very good.
Oh, actually, I have one more quick update, and that's with the Jewel settlement distribution. There was another one that came through this week, and Mr. Adams signed off on it, and we sent it back. So those additional proceeds are in the account or will be shortly. That's all.
Is that general fund? Where's that go?
Mr. Adams would know.
Specifically related to, physical safety has to be related to something with the prevention of,
Up until this point, we put all the money back in the vape detector. Is that correct? That's correct in saying that? Yes.
Do we need more of those vape detectors and?
Union High School.
There you go. Phenomenal thinking.
And that's what he does.
Are they working? I mean.
They are a very good deterrent, and they have definitely caught individuals. I mean, everything can be improved on, but I think the technology keeps improving as well, so the new ones we've been purchasing will probably be better than the ones we have.
Well, and it's a deterrent if they see it, and they've heard it works.
So could we use that money for cameras as well?
I don't think so, but
I mean, because ultimately a camera would help you catch people vaping if you're able to watch them.
Well, the problem is they're in the bathrooms. We can't do it.
Oh, you can't do it in the bathroom. No, you don't want that. No.
usually, my understanding of the information that we received the first time, it has to be used for either education when it comes to vapes or vape prevention.
Right.
I don't think I can change it up.
It actually, I remember now, it was not conditioned upon it.
Was it?
Yes, because I looked into the issue. It's not conditioned upon a specific purpose, it's just that's what we have decided to do, so that's where it's been going.
Okay. So, I mean, we could use them for cameras and
Right,
if we wanted to.
from my recollection of when I explored this, previously, it was not conditioned. Technically, yes, anything, but I don't, this all happened with my predecessor, Shad. So I don't know if the board voted to use it for a specific purpose, but outside of any board vote on how to use the funds, the settlement proceeds were not conditioned upon using it for a specific purpose, if that makes sense. So there might be something that I'm not aware of that happened to condition it, but as far as the proceeds that we get directly from them, it's not.
My mindset has always been, I don't specifically remember the board attaching a specific use to it, but my mind has always been just like with the traffic, you know, let's continue to drive safety and improvement there, and the same thing here. That is like the biggest epidemic right now amongst our youth in the secondary schools. Let's continue to do things preventative to help that situation.
Well, that's why I was thinking cameras, because if the kids know that there's vape detectors in the bathroom, what's the next place they're gonna do? They're gonna try to hide in a corner behind a building or something
Yeah.
like that. So it'll help with security and help get, deter them from hiding out in a corner somewhere. So that there would just be twice as much for us, twice as beneficial for us to invest in something like that if we had the need for it.
Point of clarity, just to be clear, all your secondary schools have all been upgraded with brand new camera systems anyways, which is where your vape issues are happening. And all our data right now in our schools is showing us our vape issues are happening in our restrooms, which is where we put the vape detectors. And another point is our vape detectors have more than just vapes. They also catch keywords. They also pick up on large crowds in the bathroom. They do a lot more than just detect
They
vapes.
also like fighting us into this in the world.
Really?
Wow.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that, that's neat.
All without a camera, so we don't have to worry about seeing stuff we don't want to see.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Okay. Fantastic. Anything else, Madam Attorney? All right, so we will move on to board member business. Mr. Superintendent, is there anything that you would like to bring before the board?
Two quick things for me. Number one, last month I introduced you to the attendance challenge that we're doing. I did have one board member step forward and is going to participate in that with me. If any of the rest of you would like to do so, please let me know. At the end of this month, we'll be going to each school and giving $100 awards to a drawing of a student that had perfect attendance for the month. Some of the schools have caught on and gotten further sponsors, so some of them are going to get multiple drawings for students. So if any of you want to participate in that, please let me know. I'd love to have you. And then just real quickly, I want to thank you for your participation last Thursday night at the gala. We are in the human business, and the humans that represent us every day in the schools and in the buses and the things that they do really are what make us successful. So thank you for being there and celebrating some of the best that we have. It was I hope you liked it. I thought it was a very nice and dignified event, and went very well. So thank you for your participation in that. Unless you have any questions for me, that's all.
Very good. Thank you. I have nothing at this time. Mr. Sammerduck.
Well, I just go on about the gala a little bit. I was so impressed with that. Miss Emily Farr.
It's a tough one to say.
It is.
It's a tough one to say.
She did an outstanding job. I'd like to have a copy of that. I was so impressed with her presentation. I couldn't believe the way she pulled it all together. I thought she said some wonderful points. And what I really like about it is the best of the best. Not only do we recognize some outstanding teachers, we have outstanding paraprofessionals, bus drivers, custodians, people in the business office and so forth. From migrant, and so just here's some great people. We just got to give them more recognition because they all do a wonderful job. And I just want to recommend it. That's just what that was for. It was to recognize how hardworking our educational community is in Hendry County. So that's all I have. I'm good. I'm all right. Anything else?
Well, I'll piggyback off of that. I'm gonna go, we've given highlights to everybody except the food. A shout out, I thought the food was really good. You guys did a good job. And the committee that put the whole production together, you guys rocked it. It was beautiful. Maybe I'll get back into it next year. It's a lot of work. Okay, that's it.
All right, Reverend Brown.
My main thing, I feel the same. Great you did. I enjoyed being here. Had a good time.
I just, a request, I know we've wrapped up progress monitoring too, and to get,
We're not wrapped up yet. We're wrapping up now.
oh, this is stretching on forever, okay.
So we intend February to hopefully,
All right.
we're ready by then, hopefully to bring it down.
Wonderful. So I'm looking forward to that. So I have Google alerts on my email. So they're blowing up like a bunch of different tag words. And I came across an article from FEA, and it was talking about vacancies in schools Apparently, they've gone through and ranked, or made a little spreadsheet about open vacancies. I don't know, I'm having a hard time validating what I read. It said we had like 51 vacancies. I can't, I don't know if that's like information we submitted or not. It doesn't seem like that's an accurate number to me.
It depends on when it was taken, obviously.
Okay, and so, but I mean, the reason why I'm saying that is because it like had us with more vacancies than Duval County, and I'm like, that's statistically impossible. So I would like to see if, possible to see like what our vacancies look like. We used
We
to
haven't, y'all.
get a little
Don't get
spreadsheet.
that email to you, or
I
no?
thought we did.
Y'all have
I
vacancies?
don't see it.
I
Okay.
haven't seen it in a while.
Okay, they
So,
updated, okay,
We
I'll.
have the population.
No, we have
Yeah.
we started 2 or 3 years ago, including you guys on the vacancy list.
haven't
Okay.
seen that in a while, so I want to double check that because it just didn't seem like the numbers weren't, the math wasn't math in there for me. And then, I just want to, speak to my favorite parts of the gala. The first one, my first favorite part was Rev's blessing for all y'all sinners that ate before the blessing. I love that one. Like literally one of the only people I know who can like make you laugh like during a blessing. It's hilarious. Love him. And then it was great to celebrate all the people that were celebrated. But my absolute favorite part was, because we can be proud of them. We know what everybody's contributing to the school district. I said, but my very favorite part were the kids' speeches. Just to see some of those kids just like overwhelmed with emotion about how much their teachers meant to them, and was really precious, a real reality check, very grounding and inspiring. Like just kind of gives you a, those are the consumers. Like I always talk about education consumers. It's your kids, it's your families, and to hear such positive, kind words and in their own words the influence and the impact that their educations have had on them, which is heartwarming and wonderful, and I love it. So thank you for the committee for putting that together, and it was a great night, and that concludes my comments.
All right, the only thing I will add to all of that is a big thank you to the city of Lewiston for their participation with the John Boyd Auditorium. They're always real kind to the school district when it comes to that, to help the school district out and ways like that. So I think we need to give them a little recognition for that as well. So big thank you to them for that. Other than that, we have nothing else. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming.